Can anyone tell me what are the various parts you should put in a CV? Someone, anyone? Has anyone already made a CV? You must have already made, right? So what sections do you have? This is getting very boring. That's why I'm trying to jazz it up a bit.
Academic achievements.
Starting से बता, starting से. Intro, yes.
After that, academic achievements, and after that, post of responsibilities, technical skills, hobbies or something similar about that.
The ending वाला part.
Extra.
Projects and internships.
Projects and internships. Yes. These are the broad classifications. Okay. Now there is no limitation on which one should come when. Obviously, your introduction should come at first. Okay. And if you have enough space, be sure to write a 2-line SOP. You can do that. Okay. Your SOP basically shows or summarizes your whole thing. Your whole, as a person, it summarizes you in just 2 lines. Okay. So you have an introduction, you have your, let's say you have or do not have an SOP line. Then comes your academic qualifications. Make it in the form of a table or whatever, whichever way you want. And like instead of writing percentages and all those things, it is always better to actually show them, quantitatively. Okay, I was first in school. Okay, or I was, third rank in state in board or something. I am department ranked this much. If you have numbers, see, companies always like numbers. If you can show them numbers, they'll be very pleased. Instead of writing about, oh yes, I did so much good things in this project, so many things in this project. Or maybe as most of the people write, I was a member of Shitej, or I was a member of Springfest, and I was involved in this thing, that thing. Instead, show them. Last year, I was the sponsorship head, and compared to last year, we have got 5.6 lakhs more for sponsorship this year. Okay, and make that 5.6 lakh bold. So show them these numbers; they'll be very attracted to that. Okay, so your one CV should be highly detailed. Your second CV should be short, but it should, focus more on your academic part. I think that is very important for G.
Yeah.
G, that is quite important. Okay. Then your another kind of a CV is that in which you shorten your all technical aspects and you increase on your personality, your soft skills, and your positions of responsibility. These are for companies like Capital One, or you have your financial companies, not Bank Bazaar, other financial companies. Okay. Yeah. So before going into placement, make these 3 CVs and always keep an updated CV.
It won't make sense if you give a highly technical, you did this much in project, you increased the ratio to this much, blah blah blah, to a company who is not going to select you to do anything technical.
Exactly.
If you have to apply it to somewhere, you just have a look at the background of the company, what post probably they'll take you in. Based on that and a judgment, to make the CV so that it appeals to them that you are the right kind. That's important. Or else you'll not make it to the first round itself, and you'll be like, oh, I have so much credentials, despite that, they did not take me in. That happens.
See, they will have this big bundle of CVs in front of them. Your CV should stand out. Okay. In order to do that in Philips, there were lots of submissions, so genuinely Philips was actually open to everybody. And a lot of people applied in Philips. What I did was that since I saw that Philips is mostly concerned with product development and all those things, I took out all the points of product development or product designing or whatever intellectual property right, things that I have, wherever I've applied for patents and all those things, I took them out. I made another column called intellectual property rights and I put it on top. That's it. So anyone who gets hold of my CV, first thing he sees is an introduction and then intellectual property rights, and there's a huge long list. Okay. So doing something is totally different than writing something or actually representing it is totally different.
Basically, you have to advertise yourself.
Yes. Remember that. Okay. So that was the initial preliminary. Then you go into the next day. There was a GD. The GD was mostly HR based, and it was like the topic was why do you think the manufacturing scenario in India is backward? It was based on that, and there were how many? I think 14 people in that. No, not 14. There were 7 people in that GD, and after the GD there was a personal interview. Personal interview lasted for around 20 minutes. What all did they ask? They asked on mostly on product development. They asked, are you familiar with the company? Yes. Be sure, whenever you go for a company, research that company very well, very thoroughly. Okay, what is the motive of that company? At least to which country it belongs, it originates from, and what are they exactly looking for? What your profile might be. So you can do as much research as you can before going into an interview, because it's actually going to help. Okay. So they were mostly asking, are you familiar with the products of Philips? Okay. Most of the people would say, yes, I am familiar with Philips has bulbs and tube lights and all those things. But the majority of the revenue or the majority of the products or the most innovative products of Philips are actually in the healthcare sector. Rather, 80% of their sales and their profits come from this sector. Okay. They have designed fMRI. Who doesn't even know what's an fMRI? Functional MRI. Does anyone know what is an MRI?
Yeah.
MRI, like magnetic resonance imaging. Okay. So it was that. So it just took me half an hour to 45 minutes to go through these big terms that are there in the healthcare sector. Okay. So and then if you are clear on your concepts, then obviously you can very well strike at where they need you to strike. Okay. So that's what the GI was all about. You want to also ask something?
Regarding the group discussions, usually it becomes a very chaotic thing. Very chaotic. Like, for example, they'll actually try to induce chaos by giving you rather trivial or nonsensical things to talk on. And most people view that as an opportunity to speak for minutes together, whereas the duration for the whole GD is at best 10 minutes or so. So I think for that, you need to have a good group of friends who will start a mock GD type of thing before the placement start. Because if you are like, no, I will manage the GDs, just go to the GD, you will see that you are actually not able to do anything. So this GD actually becomes a very important thing because the companies want to see how well you respond to such kind of situations, how well you can manufacture a nonsense with some arbitrary topics. If you are not able to do that, for example, in National Instruments, the GD topic was, I know what you did last summer.
Yes, things like
Okay. So the group before us, the topic was masala dosa or something. The group before that, the topic was blue. For companies like Schlumberger, the GD topic was very haphazard, random, and people actually view it as an opportunity to make an impression of themselves, which often backfires because no one wants a person who is continuously blabbering about something.
Give a moderate opinion. Let's say there was one topic which I particularly liked. Okay, all that I want all of your opinions. What you think about it? Okay. There was this thing. The interviewer just wrote this on the board. What is it? It's I. Sorry, my handwriting is very bad. It's I. Okay. What is your opinion? What do you want to say about this? Anything. Just tell me what is the interpretation of this. If someone just writes this, what would you think? बताओ कोई एक एक बताते चले. You? Okay. What do you think could be the interpretation?
Just say a few lines.
Just
on
say.
whatever.
What could it be?
About myself.
About yourself. Okay, that's one interpretation. Anything else? Any other interpretation?
I for an idea.
Or mathematical representation of imaginary number.
Mathematical representation of
Yeah.
imaginary numbers. Anything else?
Idea. An eye for an idea.
Idea and innovation.
Innovation. Yeah.
Ingenuity.
Something which is added before all Apple products, like iPhone.
Yes,
iPhone.
yes, definitely that could be an advertising strategy. Okay, anything else? Okay, next what he did after some time, this went on for 5 minutes. Then I viewed. Then what he did this. Now what's your interpretation?
Multiplication of I into I.
-1. That's one thing. Anything else? Those of you who were talking about I is myself, who said that? You said it right? Yeah. What do you think now? No. You can come up with anything. You can come up with anything right now.
Me and you talking and compared to when you were discussing.
Me and you talking.
And you cup of coffee.
Definitely could be. More like content, self-content. Okay.
Two hearts, one soul.
Definitely can say that. Okay. And see, basically this was asked to me in one interview. So I also started with I is me. Okay. And then when he did this, so a lot of people, those who said about I being imaginary, they were like, oh yes, now it's I dot I is -1 and all those things. So I said this, see, basically what is your dot product? Your dot product is actually the projection of one vector along the other vector, right? So it is basically I dot I said what it means is that how I see myself is what I really am. Okay, if I am projected onto myself, whatever I am that person. Like, this is some crazy thing going on.
Are you following your dreams?
Yeah, kind of, something like that. You can say like that. So always see, nothing, no point of view, no opinion in a GD is trivial or is wrong.
Another aspect of GDs is if someone raises a point, you have an option to either outright oppose him. No, how can I be root of -1? This I is alphabet I, not related to mathematics. Another thing you can do is, oh yes, I strongly agree with this colleague of mine. I is traditionally used as iota complex numbers. So that has to be in a balance. For example, if 3 of us are doing something, and I cannot continually like, yes, I agree with it. Oh, you think so? Yes, I totally agree with it. No, it's completely wrong. So you have to make your thoughts consistent. You have to make whatever you agree on consistent. For example, the problem statement ITC was some plane crash happens in middle of a forest, and
They do that every year. They do that every year. Okay.
and there are like 6 people having different traits and personalities and things with them. So whom you will select to be a team leader? So what happened is, what I noticed is, while the whole thing was going on, in the initial moment some guy was agreeing with, okay, this guy should be made the team leader. After some time I see, no, I agree that this other person should be made a team leader. Towards the end he says, no, I think this should be made a team leader. So you cannot have different opinions.
But that
different-
shows your flexibility.
That shows how amenable you are to his thoughts. You are losing out on your own opinions.
It's always a balance. How you balance it.
If you are changing sides, you'll always have to like justify yourself why you were thinking that, why you are thinking this now. It's all. I mean, it cannot be a simple linear explanation of things. It usually becomes very haphazard. And it's best to have your own opinion and to strongly support someone else who is having similar opinions.
Apart from these current affairs and these abstract topics, there may be something about the current affairs which is going on in the country or maybe in the world wide. Like sometimes the interviewer comes, he reads a newspaper and he gets some idea and then he throws that to your table on GD. Like one of the things which was going on during that time was about this Walmart stuff and how the foreign direct investment is helpful or not helpful to India. So during my GD, I was given this topic, like if we allow this foreign direct investment in India, will it be helpful to Indian economy or not? So apart from all these abstract topics, you should also know about what is currently going on in the world and how we can explain the things based on that. What are your views about that?
So basically, a lot depends on the company which is coming to you.
Depends on.
Yeah, actually, so.
Basically, if you go about the trends of the company from the past, you get the idea what type of GD topic will be given. Like for the slums, it is always an abstract.
So it is for NI. Also, totally abstract. ITC, it is always that listing out
Yeah,
there.
it's
Prioritizing it. In Transocean, it's like mostly like prepare a plan or something. You know, it was like prepare a 5-year plan. What would be your major points of focus in the next 5-year plan if you are there in the cabinet ministry? Okay, something like that. There we go.
So guys, I agree now.
See, a major point in GD is always that should you start first or should you wait? What do you think?
You delegate yourself as a leader. You ask someone to start. What do you think?
Starting first must give a first impression.
Because if you start first, you
giving
cannot
an
keep on
initiation.
talking. You have to be like the ringleader. Okay, suppose we are all here. Suppose I start first. I'll just give a small intro, then I'll say, what are your thoughts? Oh, nicely pointed. What are your thoughts? Nicely pointed. But you won't get to give much of your opinions in that case. If I start and I start speaking, you'll be like that. But if you are not starting, you'll get ample opportunity to give your own thoughts. So it's always a balance. If you start, it will show that you have leadership skills. But then if you do not start contributing, right, it will give a very bad impression that you started because you don't have much to say.
Only start if you have a solid stand. Okay. See, once what happened, I know there was like last year, okay, in ITC interview, I don't know if you also know about this. In ITC interview, there was a group discussion going on. So as soon as in that one, no, someone got through. That was different. So there was